Hi, I'm Senator Chuck Grassley, once again with you in Washington, D.C., because Congress is in session. Each week we're in session. I do a webcast. I believe for the year or two that we've been doing a webcast, I've always did it on Capitol Hill. Today I'm about 3 miles from the U.S. Capitol, downtown on Massachusetts Avenue, in a think tank called Brookings Institute. And at the Brookings Institute, I had an opportunity, along with Senator Bond of Missouri, to do a presentation on the Colombia Free Trade Agreement, and then we had an opportunity to answer questions for the audience, and then we had an opportunity to have a news conference afterwards. As I said, the Brookings Institute is a nonprofit, independent think tank. It's been located here in Washington for a long period of time. It has a very good reputation. I occasionally speak at venues like Brookings from time to time on public issues, particularly since I've been chairman and ranking member of the Senate Finance Committee over the last 8 years. We discussed the Colombia Free Trade Agreement, and as you've heard me say so many times, this Colombia Free Trade Agreement is good for the United States because it allows our products to get into Colombia duty-free the same way Colombian products has been able to get into the United States duty-free for over 40 years. So it levels the playing field of fairness and brings fairness to American manufacturing, services, and agriculture, all of these things creating a lot of jobs in America. This week in the United States Senate, we're finishing the flood insurance bill, and we're going to then go to the public safety employees bargaining bill before the United States Senate. We may even have final passage of the conference compromise between the House and Senate on the Farm Bill. Now, I usually respond to emails, so I'm going to go to John from Marengo. John's question is, do you plan on continuing your support for the renewable fuel standard amidst all of the pressure on ethanol? The answer to that is very easy, yes. And the reason for it is because we developed an ethanol industry because the American public were demanding renewable alternative energy because of importation of so much energy, and because we needed an environmentally good product. And now that there's an uproar over food being so high, it's being blamed on ethanol. Ethanol is kind of a scapegoat, but the bottom line of it is that worldwide, 95% of all grain is used for food. It's not an issue of using much grain for biofuels. In addition to that, I think people that worry about our using a food product for fuel stop to think about how did agriculture function before we ever had tractors and the engines that drive them. A good share of the food that was grown on farms fed draft animals that provided the energy to grow a crop. And I doubt if we're spending any more of our percentage of our crop on biofuels than for 100 years prior to the 1930s, that we used food grown on farms to feed animals that provided the energy for the crops we were to raise. So I think that there's just a lot of ignorance, misunderstanding, even intellectual dishonesty about people that are complaining about ethanol. I say intellectual dishonesty because the very same people that are complaining now were the very same ones that thought we ought to have renewable energy, and that's exactly what ethanol is. Now I'd like to answer a question for Richard from Davenport. Why do we continue to give foreign aid to countries who are openly opposed to our government? For the most part, we don't give foreign aid to countries that are openly opposed to ours. We give foreign aid to countries that are developing countries that need some help to bring to build a middle class, to increase their productivity. And if there's any fear of what we might be doing to help countries of this nature, all I can say to you is look back 50 years to our help to Japan and Korea and Taiwan as an example. At the time that we were helping them, people asked the very same question. But less than 50 years later, and it's 50 years now, but less than that, we found out that by building up a middle class, increasing the productivity of the people in Japan, Korea, and Taiwan, they are big importers of American products that go well beyond just importing a little bit of food to eat because they were underdeveloped. They start wanting a better diet, they have a better diet, and they consume our value-added products. Thank you for participating with your email. I encourage you to send email, and I'll be with you next week to further respond to your questions. And in the meantime, understand that if you don't get responded to over the webcast, that you will get an answer in writing.